Take the next right onto Mountain Creek Road.
It is a beautiful drive from Blairsville, Georgia to Waynesville, North Carolina, slowly gaining elevation as we approach the Smoky Mountains. For the next couple of days, I'm going to be Moochdocking with longtime friends Roberto and Zulema, who recently moved to this mountainous paradise. The landscape, definitely reminiscent of Eastern Cuba, the Sierra Maestra, where Roberto is from, and after 2 weeks on the road, it is gonna be fun to hang out with friends. I'm riding in my RV, wherever I want to be, 'cause I'm free in my RV. After catching up over a nice bottle of Georgia wine, we've decided to go into town for dinner. Very cool downtown, lively, lots of options, restaurants, shops, cafes, breweries. There's a cool looking sculpture, and I like all these red brick buildings. So many options. Decisions. The consensus seems to be the sweet onion, but there's a long waiting time, and it is going to be like this almost everywhere because they are all at half capacity, so unless you have a reservation, good luck. But I'm sure Zulema will find something. I think we're gonna try Birchwood Hall here. Southern Kitchen. Not a whole lot of people. I'm gonna have a Hakuna Matata IPA, and y'all know I'm a fried chicken kind of guy.
Oh, that was really good. Good food.
Good food and even better company. Always good fun to hang out with La Leyenda.
Before we continue, let me tell you about Crowd Cow here, which is basically a marketplace for high-quality meats and seafood where you get to know and appreciate exactly where the food comes from. And you can build your own box, like this one, for example. Here we got some ground lamb, some chicken breast, some heritage pork, and I already thought this ribeye because we're gonna put it on the grill right now. By the way, each cut comes vacuum sealed and frozen at the peak of freshness, and it is sustainably shipped directly to your door on your schedule. So let's step outside. I wish you could smell this. By the way, great selection, no hormones, and everything is either wild caught, grass-fed, or pasture-raised. Join the herd by clicking my link, crowdcow.com/travelingrobert in the description box below to get $15 off your first order. You can also save an extra 5% off everything you put into your box when you become a member, which is always the best deal. Use my code and your membership is free. Now, excuse me. Bon appetit. Good morning, beautiful morning here, and I've been doing some shipping. And as you can see, I'm supplementing my power with the Bluetti, with the good old Bluetti here, because the sun just came out, but it hasn't been very sunny.
Let's go for a ride. There is so much to see around this area, and I already lost count of how many waterfalls we've seen on this trip already, but we're gonna see some more. Not this, some real ones. Here we are.
This is the hike to Soco Falls here. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, it would be really cool to go all the way down there.
Hello, Pelican Heads! Today coming to you from Soco Falls here, near Maggie Valley in North Carolina. And Zulema is back there. Roberto couldn't make it. We're gonna try to go down there now to the bottom. This is called Soco Falls. There's a very short trail to this vista point, and then it gets more strenuous as we get down there.
The trail to the bottom? Pretty sketchy. I almost didn't show you any of it because, to be honest, I had to use both hands. They have all these ropes for you to hold on to because the rocks are very slippery. This is truly amazing. Totally worth the short, if sketchy hike. And I would dare to say this is the most beautiful waterfall of this whole trip so far. Next up, Cherokee, the gateway to the Smoky Mountains. Beautiful and super touristy town. We've been here before and we'll return actually in a couple of days. We're not gonna do much here today. Zulema wants to buy some moccasins and we're just gonna drive to the National Park entrance. Take a picture.
Here we are, Great Smoky Mountains National Park.
That's a Cherokee young man playing the drums and, as I said, very touristy town. Actually, one of these days I want to visit that Cherokee museum they have. It is about that time of the day when we need our mid-afternoon Cuban coffee fix. And lo and behold, there is a Cuban place here in Waynesville.
We're gonna have some coffee in Waynesville. Yep. Well, we're going once again for dinner in Waynesville. Well, here we are, Waynesville, and now we're going to eat at the Sweet Onion.
Well, yes, we finally get to eat at the famed Sweet Onion. Zulema made a reservation. It does live up to its reputation, by the way.
Well, that was fantabulous. The Sweet Onion. We shall come back someday, sometime. Good morning. Let's go explore.
Today I'm going out on my own and we're gonna see some more waterfalls. And isn't this like the most beautiful area? Here we are driving on US 276 and we're gonna be going over the Pisgah Ridge, through the Pisgah National Forest, and at some point here we're gonna come across the Blue Ridge Parkway, which actually this is it. This is the parkway, so let's stop real quick. It is one of those roads where you just can't help but stop and pull over from time to time to admire the scenery.
I just love cruising around these mountain roads, stopping here and there, like this beautiful creek. It's a beautiful part of the country.
I see parking might be an issue at some of the popular trails and waterfalls, especially Sliding Rock here. It is certainly a very popular area, and it's only Friday. Let's try and stop here at Looking Glass Falls. And it is my lucky day! Look at this parking spot right here. Perfect timing, huh? Well, they say timing is everything. I can tell this is gonna be a short trail. The waterfall's right there.
Alright, let's check it out. Looking Glass Waterfall.
seems like the perfect spot to cool off on this warm July afternoon. Although a little bit crowded for my taste, especially these days.
Very busy area here, let me tell you. And what was I gonna say? I don't know, maybe it's not a good idea to come here like right now in the dead of summer, you know. When everybody comes here, I mean, look at this, car after car after car. I'm really lucky to find that parking space back there.
Let's stop here real quick. Let's see if we can check out that creek down there, and yes, there is access. Wow, take a look at this place. So beautiful, and there's no one here.
Yeah, it's pretty cold. Oh yeah, sometimes even in crowded places you are able to find, you know, the hidden gem, the place that the crowds of people haven't discovered yet. And had I brought my bathing suit, I don't know, man, this looks very tempting. All right, let's go back up the truck.
People seem to have discovered this one here at the next pull-off.
It's a little deeper here, you know, that's why people have discovered it, and they're swimming in the frigid waters. Pretty cold, they're pretty cold. So many pull-outs along the side of the road that, you know, it's kind of pointless to stop at each and every one of them, but all of them are beautiful. Well, found parking here right next to the creek. It is crowded cars-wise, so I'm sure it's gonna be even more crowded that way. I think we're like half a mile away or something like that. All right, let's do it. Oh, look, there was another spot here. Probably the most dangerous part of this is that I'm gonna be walking right on the side of the road. It's not like a designated trail or anything like that, but I think we'll be okay. It's a beautiful early afternoon here. Probably 75 degrees or something like that. Right, let's check this out. This might be a short little trail.
I was gonna walk all the way from here to Sliding Rock, but let's investigate what this is first.
I wonder where this goes.
Well, had I read the sign, it says Moore Cove.
Well, this was not in the original plan, but let's let serendipity.
Yeah, how about we let serendipity have a turn at the wheel?
Well, they covered the map for some reason. And woo, there's a bug. Yeah, it's a beautiful bridge. Well, let's hope it's not too strenuous. There's some stairs, but other than that, it is not too bad, really. Very pretty. The blazes are a little faded, but it's a very well-marked trail here, so there it is. The Colorado. It's pretty cool, these big boulders here. Let me tell you, for the most part, very easy trail and not too much traffic, which is good. Check it out, the creek is right here. Let's check it out real quick. I overheard a couple saying that it is not too far that way. So beautiful out here. Looks like we might be getting close. Look at that. Yep, I think that's it.
Yay, we made it! Wow, this is beautiful too.
Well, yeah, beautiful waterfall here. I was doing a Pelican Head update down there and I got interrupted by two little kids that walked right by me and then their parents, and you know, I wanted to keep the social distance, so I just stopped. But anyway, yeah, definitely worth the short hike here, which was, yeah, less than a mile. I think it's 0.7 miles. And yeah, absolutely gorgeous. Let me do one final look here from this vantage point. Check out this tree, how it splits into two. That's pretty cool. Well, almost back at the trailhead. That was a good exercise. Almost broke a sweat. Actually, I did break a sweat. And now we're gonna try to see that other, the slide rock falls.
Sliding Rock Recreation Area here, $4 per person. Well, we drove all the way here. Might as well, right? Even if I don't get to actually slide on the rock.
It is $4 per person to park here in this area where there is parking. But in hindsight, I should have parked outside. But once I went into this parking lot, I couldn't, you know, make a U-turn. But yeah, $4. It's not the end of the world, and it's supposed to be a beautiful waterfall here. So we'll see.
Yeah, I wonder if they still charge you the $4 if you park outside and enter by foot.
Oh, wow, that's a lot of people.
Let's go down to the lower level.
That looks like a lot of fun, let me tell you.
Lots of people and super long lines. I wonder how long you'd have to wait to slide down the rock. Probably a long time. Let's continue. We're gonna go on the Blue Ridge Parkway here for a little bit so that we can see one last waterfall.
I'd say this view was definitely worth stopping here for a second.
Yeah, the Blue Ridge Mountains, they never get old. That looks like Looking Glass Rock, so we must be getting close.
I've got one more waterfall today, and this one is called Skinny Dipping Falls. I don't know what's going on here. It seems to be an unmarked trail here, but yeah, might be through here. Okay. Looks like a trail. I don't know.
Famous last words, huh? Hopefully not.
Looks like a trail.
Yeah, someone else was looking for the trail too. And this is an unmarked trail. No sign at the trailhead or anything like that, which leads me to believe that this may have been a secret, secluded spot where, at some point in the past, swimmers might have been able to practice what the name suggests. But Judging by the parking lot, I think the secret is out by now.
And out of all the trails, this is the one that I forgot to bring water to. Luckily, we're right there, I think, and it's not so bad. I'll make it. It's actually kind of cool here in the middle of the forest. I can hear water already, so we must be close.
Very, very crowded. It is almost like a human traffic jam.
Okay, I'm gonna get out of here. This is too crowded.
Very pretty area. It almost has like a tropical feel to it.
Well, I'm happy to report no skinny dipping happening at Skinny Dip Falls here. Just very crowded. It's a popular watering hole for sure. Now let's go eat.
Did I just say watering hole? Where's the bartender? I meant to say water hole. Let's head back to Waynesville. It is a beautiful drive, isn't it? And tonight we're going to a bar with live music.
Oh, it's a brewing company.
It is called Frog Level, famous brewery here in town, but there is a tiny minor little problem. The band got cancelled today because it is gonna rain, and the live music is outdoors. That's a big bummer.
This is nice.
Apparently, this is Richland Creek, which borders the historic Frog Level neighborhood that the brewery is named after.
Okay, so it's raining pretty hard. Let me get back inside.
We're gonna have a beer, nibble on something, and then go back to the house. Saying, till next time, to Robert and Zulema, the journey continues. It is going to be a beautiful 1-hour drive to Cherokee. I have reserved one night at the Cherokee KOA, the only place I could find. Everyone seems to be camping this summer, and finding something on a weekend has proven extremely difficult, next to impossible. And we're back in Cherokee, North Carolina. Super touristy, super busy, lots of people tubing in the river, but other than that, it's fine. This is to be expected. This is the gateway to the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, which happens to be the most visited national park in the United States. On the Tennessee side, we have Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge, which are even busier. So, in a sense, this is kind of like the quiet side of the Smokies. Here we are. Well, take a look at this place. This is actually the type of KOA I try to avoid sometimes. So busy that I just get stressed out, just looking for a spot to park, just to check in. Luckily, it is just one night.
Here we are at the Cherokee Great Smoky Mountains KOA. I took a break inside, and now we're gonna go for a little hike. Mingo Falls, I believe, is like right here, very close to where we are. Not my first choice campground, but to be honest, there was nothing else available in the area. I mean, I could have searched for hours and something would have come up, but you know, KOA is just easier. I checked some of the national park campgrounds. They were all booked. So this is nice. It took an awful long time to check in and then for the escort. You know, they have one guy to escort everybody to their sites, and it took forever. And he doesn't go necessarily in order, which is another bad thing. But other than that, yeah, it's a KOA, very nice, very crowded. That's the other thing. This place is huge, and that front area by the swimming pool is like super crowded. Really cool creek there. I wonder how to get there, because it looked on the map like it was really close. Oh, there's an exit right here, I think. So maybe I can walk that way. Tribal fishing license required, but it is locked. Okay, so that's how you get out there. Yeah, but then how do I get to the road? I'm gonna go the other way. Yeah, definitely a very family-friendly KOA. They have that bouncy thing back there and the swimming pool and propane. We put propane here about 5 years ago. It was more than 5 years ago. It was more like 9 years ago. By the way, apparently people can do tubing too. There's all kinds of activities. It's one of those KOAs.
Here we are by the entrance. There's some people fishing in the lake.
Yeah. Ooh, RV coming. Let me get out of the way. I just realized that this is not going to be very pedestrian friendly. I'm going to have to come in the car, in the truck. I mean, being so close, it would have been cool to just walk there. Yeah, they have regular campsites, they have the cabins, they have yurts. I mean, it's like, I think these are yurts. This is like one of the largest KOAs I've ever seen. Here we go, there's tubing going on. Ooh, check it out.
The river is right behind the campground.
Right, that was really cool, but if I want to go to Mingo Falls, I'm going to have to take the car. Look at these cabins here. Perfect location right in front of these rapids here. Very cool. If tubing is your thing, this is definitely the KOA to come to. I've never, found tubing all that appealing. I guess I've never done it before.
Okay, so this is the side of the campground we saw earlier. Everybody fishing. And the funny thing is, Mingo Falls is like less than half a mile farther. It would be really cool if there was like a shortcut, and perhaps there is, I just couldn't find it.
Well, here we are. There's not a whole lot of information about the trail, but it seems to be up this way. This is not it. All right, it's up and up and up. Another walk in the woods. It's a beautiful hike.
This is an absolutely stunning waterfall and a fitting end to our episode. On the next one, we'll be visiting the Great Smoky Mountains National Park.
Well, yeah, very, very impressive waterfall. Mingo Falls here. Definitely worth the short hike. What do you say we call this video and the previous videos also chasing waterfalls? How many waterfalls have we seen? I lost count. They're beautiful, and each one is different. And that's all I'm going to do today. That's all we're gonna do today, really. I'm not gonna go into town. I'm not gonna do anything else. Tomorrow, we'll hitch up and go into the Smoky Mountains National Park with trailer in tow. I've made a reservation at the Cove campground, which is just totally boondocking, you know, dry camping. Okay, so the campground is right here. It would be really cool if they made like a sidewalk on this road so we could just walk to the falls, you know. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. I'm not complaining. I mean, how can you complain with this beautiful, beautiful area here? Look at that.
All right, until next time, thank you so much for watching, and see you on the road.
We're back at the KOA.
I'm riding